The interim government, of course, is a short duration arrangement, and there are obvious limits to what they can do on foreign policy. But as the expected tenure of this particular caretaker government is expected to be somewhat longer than 90 days, they will have to navigate through the challenges, the foreign policy challenges that Pakistan faces. I think the most crucial challenge is actually economic. We have a short-term standby agreement with the IMF, but clearly this is a temporary reprieve that provides only limited breathing space. So the economy is not out of the woods. So economic management will have to be really getting most of the attention. And my own sense is that foreign relations will need to align with the country's economic needs in this period. The promise of investment, for example, from Saudi Arabia and the UAE means special focus and attention to diplomatic engagement at a sufficiently high level with these countries. But overall, this government, I don't see it taking new initiatives because the period is too short, and it is, after all, a caretaker government. New initiatives are taken by an elected government that will come in after elections are held. Even so, the key foreign policy relationships in this period and beyond will be and are with China, with the United States, Saudi Arabia, the EU, and of course our own neighborhood poses obvious, apparent challenges. We have an unstable Western neighbor, that is Afghanistan, and we have a hostile neighbor on our eastern flank, which is India. So, this will require special focus in this period, even though it's a short period. Elections are due in India next year, so I really don't see anything happening with Delhi in this period, and no movement actually can be expected. The diplomatic impasse will continue because we've seen that new irritants have been added to more long-standing disputes between our two countries. But still, managing relations with Delhi will be important in the months ahead to just ensure that any flare-up of tensions do not snowball or spin out of control. So, tension management, I think, with India in this period, important. And with Afghanistan, Pakistan's strategic compulsion is to have stable ties with Afghanistan. But today, Pakistan's security concerns are paramount. So to continue to engage the Taliban authorities in Kabul on what they propose to do in helping Pakistan deal with the threat from the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, the TTP, I think that is going to be an important issue perhaps in this period. And again, any flare-up on this count, for example, a major attack by the TTP and a major threat to our internal security, will then lead to a dip in relations between Kabul and Islamabad. And again, that's an area that will have to be very carefully managed. Now, I think beyond this, there is also the issue of what Pakistan can do in the months ahead to leverage the regional reconciliation efforts that have been underway in the Middle East. The rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Iran, for example, has opened up diplomatic space for Pakistan to consider how it can push through new economic initiatives, perhaps. So, these are some of the major areas. And of course, with the United States, we will continue to engage them, to engage the Biden administration. But I don't see very much happening in just the few months that are going to be the life of the interim government. With China, of course, it's key. It's our strategic ally, and its economic relationship with us now is of such prime importance. As you know, when Pakistan was teetering on the verge of default, it was China that rolled over several of the loans which Pakistan had to service, and had actually not enough foreign exchange to do that. So again, with China, the ability of the interim government to keep the relationship on a very positive trajectory, keep the engagement at a high level, and of course ensure that any economic need that Pakistan has will be responded to by China.